Hey guys, what's up here? Ronin man here. It's right now it's rainy season in Thailand, so I just thought I'd give you a view here, the typical, kind of rainy season. Just tiny little bit of rain. I don't know if you can see it. Not much. I love rainy season actually. The air is clean. You feel fucking great. You know, I think guys like rainy season. Girls don't so much. Got to wear high heels and all that. Get out. It's not as easy to get out. Guys just put a raincoat on or umbrella or just walk in the rain. Today it's not even really raining, so no big deal. But today I want to talk about an article I came across. I'll put it in the bottom in the comments. It's about basically that the title is, and I'm sure you've seen it because it's really going around. It's that porn is ruining men's sex lives. And so it's an interesting title. Definitely gets your attention. It's like, oh geez, don't want that, right? Nobody wants that. But the hint is, when you're looking at it, the kind of what you feel. When I looked at the title, I don't know about you, but when I saw the title, I thought, oh my God, it means guys can't get it up anymore because of porn. That's what it's kind of like. That's the kind of way it's written to get guys' attention. I was like, oh geez, don't want to be dysfunctional, right? Because they talk about men having sexual dysfunction because of porn, and that sexual dysfunction is very clear. What the meaning of that is you can't get it up, and that's why people take Viagra and things, right? So, but what's the article really about? Articles about men and articles about women and about men's role in society are so misleading that it's just unbelievable. You have to unravel them. You have to, that's what I'm here to do. Figure this stuff out, read it for you. It's like, bring it to you so you don't have to like waste time on this stuff. I honestly, like, this is such bullshit, this one. Oh man, this one is like bullshit. Okay, so what does it really say? What it really says is that men prefer pornography to dating women. That's what the article really says. And okay, so men, and that's considered sexual dysfunction for men. Not wanting, preferring porn to women is considered sexual dysfunction. Now, I've never heard. I don't know if you've heard, but I've never heard that a vibrator is sexual dysfunction. Have you ever heard that? I've never heard that. I can't imagine ever reading that, ever. I've read that women, come with a vibrator and don't come with a man. I've read the statistics a million times, like they come every time they use a vibrator. I've read that women come when they're with lesbian lovers at a higher rate than men. It's like 10 times or something, And I've read all these articles, but I've never read that women have any kind of dysfunction. I've never read that. In fact, they don't even consider that dysfunction. It's almost like when I read the articles about women, it's almost like kind of this pride. Guys, you guys don't measure up. You're not good enough. Women prefer a dildo to you, And it's like, you better get your shit together, guys. Get a bigger dick. You better fucking learn how to fucking, do yoga or some crazy thing. You better be able to fucking, somehow do something, which of course, guys are sitting there going, fuck, I'm working all the time. What the fuck am I going to do, What, you know what I mean? Like, what can't get? What can I do? You can't get girls get bigger boobs. It's no problem. That's not dysfunction. But guys are just like basically just beaten up in society. We're just like pinatas or pin cushions. That's what we are. We're just like fucking just punch a guy. You call him dysfunctional. Call him whatever you want. It's fine. No one cares. And there's no blowback at all. But I'm gonna kind of dismantle or take apart this article. Okay. Now, first thing is, if a guy or a woman prefers something to something else, what that means in the marketplace is that has more value and it's a better option, right? So, for example, when people chose cars over horses, the reason why they chose is because it was more, it was better. It was a better option, right? Horses, they're troublesome, right? You have to train them, and we could go on and on about horses. They're not fast enough. They get tired. They get in a bad mood, they overheat. You have to walk them after they're done. You don't have to walk the car. But that wasn't dysfunction. That was just like better option, right? So like the people don't send much mail anymore. The reason why is because the internet, emails are faster and more convenient for most people, right? So that's kind of like why things evolve in the marketplace and why they go certain ways. It's because there's more value in certain things. All of a sudden, when it's guys not wanting women, all of a sudden it's dysfunction, right? And even Ben Shapiro, everybody's forwarding this link That's where I saw it actually. And I gotta say that I know so many people, like I know a lot of like even 12-step groups now. Like you go to a 12-step group and people talk about porn addiction and sex addiction. It's like the most common thing. I've always thought that's such a crock of shit. I don't believe in any kind of porn addiction, sex addiction. It is complete crap. Don't ever fall into some, this is society's trap for you, that you're somehow addicted, to porn, you're addicted to sex, and you're supposed to, like, even though you want it, you're supposed to control it. It's just everything that you're wrong. So in other words, if you want sex with women too much, you're wrong, right? Because you got a sex addiction. And if you don't want it, then you got dysfunction, right? So what is the proper amount? What does society want from you? Society just basically wants you to be a good little boy and shut the fuck up, right? And pay for women and give your money, go to work, and basically get whatever you get, right? I never accepted that. That's why I talked about it before, but I've fucked over, I'd say 600 to 800 women, something like that. And you don't believe it? It doesn't matter. I don't care. It's true. And a lot of them for a long time too, because in my 20s and 30s here in Asia, I was just on a rampage. And by the way, if anybody wonders, no one's ever said this actually. You guys are pretty cool at it. But I don't like to pay. I don't pay for sex. I'm not into paid options when it comes to that kind of stuff. I just don't like it. I'm not into it. It's not my thing. It's totally fine. No problem. No judgment at all. But it's not my thing. I'm not into it. I never pay for sex. I shouldn't say I never ever in my whole life. There's probably like 2 or 3 times I was with friends and we were out at dinners, business dinners, and afterwards you kind of go to KTV and stuff like that. I've been in situations where I've had to, but it's definitely not my thing, and I'm definitely not interested. And I'll tell you why, just real quick, because a lot of guys don't really know. When they come to Asia, they think they have to do that because that's what everybody does, right? The reason why I don't like it, I'll just tell you real quick, is because I like to look in a girl's eyes and see that she wants me, right? That she fucking wants me, That's why I want to fuck her. That's what makes me want to fuck her, is that she looks at me like that look. You take a bra off and she's like, she wants it. I need that. That's what I want. That's the thing that, it's a weakness in me, but it's something that is very important to me. And whenever you're paying for it, you're paying because she doesn't want it with you, and you're forcing her by paying her. And so she's doing something she doesn't want to do. Right? It's like if a girl cleans your room and she's all happy because you just gave her a good root, and she's all smiling and she's just cleaning the room, dancing around your room. I've had that a million times. And she's very happy about it. It's very different than a maid, working overtime, cleaning a room because she has to, like miserable, wants to be home with her kids. It's a completely different thing, right? It's a different thing in the satisfaction and enjoyment of a man, right? So I prefer real situations. And I consider the woman's eyes to be the most important thing. Is if the woman's eyes don't want me, I don't want anyone. It's not just that I don't want to pay for sex. I don't even want them in my fucking life. Like, get out of my fucking life. If you don't like me, get out of my fucking life. Like, I don't even have any need for that. That's just like, it's like, get the fuck out, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's just because the thing is it throws you off, and it puts you into a weak position where you start to accept the fact that you're not even a wanted man. Like no one wants you for sex. That's ridiculous. Women definitely want you. It's just a matter of improving yourself and getting out there and finding those women. So either way, that's a side note. But let's go back to this dysfunction bullshit on men. Okay, so men now prefer porn to women, right? So that's pretty simple, right? That's understandable. I mean, what is porn? Porn is you turn it on. You look for a video that you want, you search, and then you click on it. Maybe you click through 1 or 2, and then you're done. You find something you like, you watch it. The average guy watches porn. I looked on the Pornhub statistics, and they were like, it was really short. It was something like 6 minutes or something. Very short period of time. So it's very efficient, time-wise, and it's obviously very pleasurable and enjoyable. So I would say, like, don't put down things that give you pleasure, and don't let other people do it in your own mind either. Accept yourself and be confident in yourself that if you feel enjoyment and that satisfies something in you, there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. At the same time, you don't have to go preaching it from the mountaintops either. It's just something that you feel you enjoy, right? It's something like you might enjoy anything, right? You know, I enjoy rainy season. I enjoy walking rainy season. I don't have to tell everybody. It's just I just enjoy it. I'm going to get my raincoat on. I'm going to go walk around here, and I like the clean air. It's no big deal, right? It's just something I enjoy, right? So if you enjoy it, something, just you enjoy it. That's fine, you know. And pornography is one of those things. Now, here's how fucked up the situation is basically you're being called dysfunctional, okay, which is, as you know, it's right next to you can't get it out, okay? Same word, okay? What does that mean? If I said to you, you know, like I said, you know, quietly, but in a hushed voice, that you couldn't get it up to somebody, what would that mean? That mainly means you're meaningless, useless piece of shit, right? That's what a guy who can't get it up anymore is like totally irrelevant in society. He's irrelevant with women. He's irrelevant. He's irrelevant. That's what he is. He's totally irrelevant. And you're not irrelevant. And you're not dysfunctional. And if you have a serious problem with something like that, you need to go to the doctor because it's often a sign of a heart attack or blocked arteries or something more serious, right? It's no joke. You don't call somebody something like that. You know, if you think somebody needs help and they're in trouble, you need to take them to the doctor and you help them, right? Don't call them names and put them down, right? You know, if somebody has, like I had a friend who had a heart attack at 34, and I took him to the hospital because I saw that his eyes were getting glassy, and he couldn't see it. He was getting all tired, and his eyes were getting glassy. And I said, dude, you got to get you to the hospital. And he fought with me, but I brought him in and ended up saving his life. He was only 34 too, but he smoked like 3 packs of cigarettes a day. He didn't get any exercise. He was a totally cool guy, but I ended up saving that guy's life. And the doctor told me that too. He said he was just on the verge of having a major, like a complete, yeah. And so either way, so if you see somebody in trouble, you help them, right? So what is dysfunction? No, pornography is something, it's a great option. And what's happening is that men are choosing to jerk off and then to go about their daily lives rather than to hang out with some woman, right? And that's not dysfunctional at all. That's the same as everybody else's choices, right? You might choose to wear, Keen sandals instead of rainbow sandals or something, right? You might choose to wear a certain brand of shirt over another brand of shirt, right? You might choose to take a vacation in Thailand instead of the Bahamas. It's just an option. It's an alternative. That's all it is. And anybody who's worried, I'll tell you something. Here's what everybody always says: what's society gonna do if guys don't have sex with women? Guess what? There's an option. The option is that women improve themselves and get better at sex and give more value. Holy shit. That's crazy. Are you kidding me? You mean it's not the guy's fault that he chooses something? You mean it could be possibly the fault of the person that's getting passed over in favor of some digital on TV bullshit, right? So, yeah, women have gotten so fat, so ugly, so miserable, so bad at sex, they can't do yoga, they have no flexibility, complaining, their back hurts, they don't like this, they get upside down, they're uncomfortable. They're so unathletic and uncreative that they're not even preferable to have a real vagina over a TV screen, right? A monitor, right? Computer monitor, right? And that's their fault. That tells you how far they've fallen. Women have just gone down the shitter. Because I guarantee you, a hot girl, right, 18 years old, she does yoga all the time, she's a gymnast, she's fun, she's got a huge smile, she's got silky hair, long hair down to her ass, she smiles, she's a good fuck, she's got, you know what I mean, she's attentive, she's got a cute voice. That is very preferable to a jerking off on the monitor. But what is not preferable is the average fucking useless fat bonehead chick in North America who doesn't take care of herself, doesn't try to improve herself, blames her problems on everybody else, she dresses like a college frat boy. She doesn't have any flexibility. She doesn't try to improve herself. She's never even thought about taking a class about improving sex or how to give a hand job or how to give a blow job or she's never improved herself in any way when it comes to sex. She basically does the same moves that she did when she was 14, when she got fucked in the bullpen, the dugout, of the baseball field by some older guy in his Camaro. And now they do the same moves. They've never even thought about improving themselves, or what guys feel, or how guys, what motivates a man, or the complex creatures that are men. Men are not simple. Men are not simple when it comes to sex, and that is a huge myth. And the reason why they say that is that's an excuse not to do anything, not to improve themselves. So as typical, it's just another excuse of blaming problems on somebody else, putting the blame on other people. Like, it's kind of like a salesman who can't sell, and then he says, I got the stupidest clients in the world because they don't see the value in the awesome thing that I'm presenting to everybody. What a bunch of idiots. They don't understand how cool this is and how awesome my product is, right? And so naturally, they don't sell anything, and they blame it on the clients, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. Now, what could women do? What would be an option for this? Well, I think porn was always a viable alternative to women, always. Even back when, back in the 70s, when you're jerking off to some Penthouse magazine or Penthouse Letters book, it was always like a great option. And I was very successful with women since I was very young. I was very sexually active from, let's see, what age was it? I was very sexually active from 14. Very, very active. I was active from 12, sexually active from 12 with women, but with girls obviously back then. But it became very, very active from 14, where it was a huge part of my life, and I had other girlfriends and all kinds of crazy situations. So, but even then, I remember me and my friend had it was like a, what do you call it? It was kind of like an oil pan, and we had some magazines in it. We had Penthouse magazine. I don't remember where we got them, but we had them hidden in this empty field, looking over the ocean. We used to go out there, and we would look at these things, and me and my friend, we didn't jerk off because we were in public, but we would obviously jerk off afterwards. But porn was a very exciting thing back then. We're talking about 1978, 1977, 1975 even, back then. No, it wasn't 5. No, it's probably 7. 1977 to 1980 was the period when I was looking at those magazines, and they were very exciting. And I still remember a girl. There was a girl, and she was always on top of a fire truck, and she's it's all this. It was a layout in Penthouse magazine, and we had all this slang about her. Me and my friend, it was like an inside joke with us, And she was like the hottest thing. She was like as hot as any girl in our school. She was an alternative that was very attractive for us. Both me and my best friend back then. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. She was sexy as fuck. I loved her, I still think about her once in a while, And even though she's not real to me, she was an alternative. So sexuality is a very fluid, complex thing for men and women. And I've read somewhere that, no, actually I didn't read this. I thought this, and I was going to write an article about it. But basically that men have a relationship with whoever they jerked off to when they were little, when they were young. It's almost like a love, somewhat of a love, because that picture, that person gave the satisfaction to me or you or other guys, and there's some gratitude there. There was no judgment. It was just like pure pleasure, and not judging, just pure pleasure. That was a good thing. So there is a complex relationship with porn and with this thing, and I, like I say, I integrated it because I had plenty of girls when I was 14 who wanted to suck me off and screw me, and I also had porn, so I had both, and I would keep, both had their parts, right? Both had their, obviously you'd be busy, soccer practice, and you didn't have time to meet the girls all the time, or you couldn't get a loan, or they couldn't get out, or something. I had a motorcycle, so I could go pick the girls up when I was 14. My first motorcycle I got, I shouldn't say motorcycle, it was more like a moped, but it was good, and I could ride double with it. Not legally, but I did it. And there was plenty of empty fields back then, so we could just drive through the empty fields and then go and have sex under this oak tree, or by this water, what was it, sanitization. It was some kind of a water treatment plant that was in the middle of the fields. It was dysfunctional. It was broken. It was not used anymore. But we would go out there against the wall and do it. And so I integrated porn and relations to women from the very beginning. And I think that's totally fine. I think they both have their part. Much like a vibrator has a part for a woman, it's great. I never have been ever. I know some guys. I remember when people started using vibrators. There's a lot of guys who were, I don't know, almost like angry or jealous, or they were really against vibrators. I remember there were some guys who were really like pissed off about vibrators. They felt like vibrators were taking their jobs and somehow like more attractive than them, and they felt insecure. I always never thought that. I always thought, hey, if a woman likes a vibrator, that's great for me, you know, because that keeps her hotter, and also, you know, less hassle because she can use that and keep herself busy, and then I can come in once in a while, give her the root, right? But you know, I can be busy with my life. I can just do my thing, and I quickly, when I was younger, I realized that, you know, a girl being horny actually doesn't. It's not a finite thing. It's a value added. Like the more horny she is, the more horny she is, basically, right? It builds on itself. It's not negative, right? The less horny a girl is, the less horny she is. There's no value there. Like the more horny a girl is, the more position she can do, the more her fantasy goes. You know, the more stories she thinks of that make her more horny, the more attractive she becomes because her face becomes flushed and she becomes more feminine. And you know, she's just devastating. A woman with a flexible body, a beautiful face, and a creative mind is a very attractive thing. You know, there's nothing. That's awesome, right? And a vibrator can help that. So I think that's great. I've always been pro on that. But when it comes to men, they don't return. Most women, a lot of them do, but most of them don't return the favor. You need to look hard for women that understand you and applaud you and appreciate your sexuality. You know, these women that are fighting against porn, they're so far behind the 8 ball. As far as I'm concerned, they're just useless cunts. You know, they're like fighting a totally never, you know, like can't win battle. And what's going to happen is they're going to be replaced with sex robots, because porn is one thing, but porn plus AI plus robotics and robotic vagina is going to totally just knock these women out, and they'll just be sitting there like nobody will want them. And that's coming. I really believe that. If you watch the Sex Dolls episode, go back to the Sex Dolls episode. You know, there's no doubt in my mind that that's the future is sex dolls. And so this porn thing is just the beginning for them. And I think women are starting to, smart women are starting to understand that they're getting replaced. And they're not coming back. They have gotten so fat and so ugly and so lazy that, and now just complaining about things that they should actually be working on. And it's just gotten pathetic. And so it's like, it's not even like a contest anymore. It's not even like, oh, you know, maybe guys will want them again. No, it's the end of the line, right? It's like a horse that you take out to the glue factory, right? When the horse is finished, you take him to the glue factory in the old days, right? Or a dog, you know, they would take him out back, shoot him. You know, obviously I love animals. I'm not into this, but I'm just saying, like, in history, evolution was tough, guys, and you know, you had to make choices in the old days. You didn't have the luxury of doing everything you want before and after. You know, you had a horse that had a broken leg, you had to take it out back and shoot the thing. There was no prosthetic legs, or there was no way to do anything else. You couldn't make it swim, or, you know, that horse was toast, right? And you had to move on. And that's how women are now when it comes to sex. It's just the dawn of this era. So there's going to be a lot of episodes about this, I think, in the future, because this is going to be a painful one for women. Being replaced by sex dolls is going to be like, because it's not just sex they're being replaced for. Sex is just what they dangle in front of you to steal all your money and to ruin your life. So as they take that away, obviously they take the leverage away, and it leaves women with nothing, you know, and just having to earn their own job, you know, life, and no reason to be beautiful anymore, because there's no even chance anybody's going to want them anymore. So it's just like they're like old maids, even whatever age they are. I mean, a super fat woman who's 16 is basically an old maid already, like a horse that needs to be taken to the glue factory, as far as I'm concerned. She'll never be attractive to any man. No women will ever want her because she hasn't taken care of herself, and evolution takes its path. The odds that she's going to get skinny and sexy and, you know, become flexible and get a creative mind, a positive mind, is just almost, you know, maybe 1 in a million or something like that will do it. 1 in 100,000 or less will do that. But those one aside, the 999,999, those are the women I'm talking about, and those are the reality of life. And so it's evolution out there, guys. It's tough out there. You need to improve yourself, and women need to improve themselves. Now, what would I do if I was a woman? and this is something never talked about in any of these articles. I know what I would do, and I'll just tell you my history was when I would, let's say, this is just kind of like, it's pro PUA, pre PUA, pre pickup, and everything. When I was out, slamming girls, and what I would do was, I would bring a girl to my house, and let's say that I wanted her to do something. Okay, so whatever it was, like some kind of certain sex act, and it would be our first date or second date or whatever, and I was trying to get her to do something. So what I would do is I would put on some porn. I would carefully select what I would play for her. Back in those days, there was no internet, so I'd have to go to the video rental shop. And in Japan, they had a great porn section, and it was very easy to get. In Japan, every single video rental, like what were they called in the States? I can't remember. But on every street corner in every city, they had like these video rental places they had like regular videos, Hollywood videos, and then they had a section for porn. It was just normal in Japan. And so you could just walk in there. It wasn't weird. You used the same card, and it wasn't like in the States where you had to go to these disgusting places with some, guy with his belly hanging out. It was like some cute girl working at the front. You can go get a porn, you can get a regular movie, and it was totally normal and acceptable, very acceptable to do that. So that's what I would do. I would go and I'd look at the movies, and I'd find one that kind of matched the scenario that I wanted to create with this girl. I would bring her over there. So let's say I wanted to do a threesome. I'd get a video about a guy seducing two women into a threesome. And if it was like a guy's girlfriend and another girl, then I would choose a different movie. I would read the movies, and I would carefully select the one that I thought was appropriate. Right? And then I would play that movie, and then I would put it on. I would say to the girls, I'd just turn it on without saying anything on the TV, and then they'd be like, "Oh, what's this?" I'd be like, "Oh, nothing, just check it out, it's like interesting, And what happened was, it was almost 100% ratio, is that they would watch the scene, and then we would do the scene. And it was funny because I had so many women that they couldn't put it together, but it was like very clear. Women watch the scene, they get horny, and they do the scene. It's just so clear, right? If you choose it well, and you're nice, and they like you, they'll do it. Because they understand, this is what the guy wants, right? This is very clear, right? This is what he wants. He wants me to do this thing. Okay, am I willing to do it? Yeah, why not? And they'll do it, and then that was fine. That's how you would get them to do stuff. Other guys have other techniques, but that's what I would do. And so I would always play a porn, even on my first date with a girl, if I got her into my house. And there was once in a while when I would have a girl who, back then there would be Japanese girls who had never seen porn. It wasn't that common, but there was girls back then, pre-internet. There was definitely girls back then who had never seen porn. So what I would do with them is it would be a bit harsh. It was a bit harsh for them to watch porn. It was pretty radical for them. So what I would do is I would turn the sound down really low, or even the sound totally off. And I found that those women that were very sensitive could accept it if the sound was off. There's a little secret for you if you want to get a girl to do something. Find the right movie, right, that has the right, you know what I mean? It's not like, it's a soft touch, right? You want that thing to be done, and you're showing her this. If she's not into it, turn the volume down, but leave the video on. And what she'll do is she'll glance over at it. And she might even complain, like, "Oh, what are you doing?" She might put you down. She might say something about the video, and "I don't want to watch this." Just leave it on. If she's really unhappy, which I've never had, and she would leave, but she's obviously fine. She's staying there, right? And then she'll look at the video once in a while, glance at it. And then as you start to, make out with her and feel her out, then she'll start to kind of look longer at the video. And what you can do then, the second time you have sex, you can turn the volume on. And she'll get totally into it. So what I would do is I would use porn. What I'm saying here is a long way of saying I would use porn in addition to a woman. So you get the physical woman, but I would use porn as a value-added thing to get something done that I wanted to get done. So whether it was making her easier, making her wetter, easier to seduce if she was on her period, or if it was trying to get her to do some certain act, or if it was just simply trying to get her used to porn because I like porn. So I would always play porn, and if they don't like it, then they don't have to be with me, right? I enjoy porn, and at the same time, I'm not embarrassed about it. I don't care what people say. I don't take it as dysfunctional. It's total bullshit to me. It's a very functional thing that is very effective also, and women also like porn. But the thing is, women don't admit it. So that's when you're playing porn for a woman, you have to be very knowledgeable about the way women operate. They say they don't like something, but they actually do. Your job as a man is to make it happen let her enjoy herself, and let her have her denial. So it's the same thing. The basic same psychology is when you get the girl to come to your house, when she says, "Oh no, I can't come." You say, well, can you help me carry this bag? It's a bit heavy. I have too many bags. And she's like, "Oh, okay." And she comes to your house, and you fuck her, right? You're just giving her that plausible deniability excuse to get to your house, and then everything works out fine. That's your job as a man. That's your fucking job. Okay, man up. Know your job. Don't say to her, don't be an idiot and say, "Oh, you just agreed with me and came over and I fucked you on the first day because, you wouldn't admit it." It's like, don't put it in their face. Just be smooth, man. Be smooth, baby, and get it done, and deny it to the end. You'll say, "Oh, you're pretty smooth." You say, "What do you mean? Smooth about what? I have no idea." You're just like, "Let's eat. I'm hungry." Just deny it. Don't put it in their face, but use it and be an intelligent man who understands what his responsibility is. It's your responsibility to have sex with her and to take her the responsibility off her. Allow her to take responsibility as she wants to, right? That's the role that you have. That's the way life is. So that's what I would do with porn. I would play porn, and so if I was a woman, what I would do is, one, I would realize I would improve myself physically. So I'd keep myself skinny. Like, I'm 52, I've got a probably 3-inch waist. Every once in a while a 32 will fit, but usually 34s are too big, so I'm 33-inch waist. Very difficult to find 33-inch waist pants anymore. Jeez, they don't even make them anymore. I don't know why, but I can order them on the internet. But that's my size, right? And the reason why, and I'm in good shape. I'm strong. I lift weights. The reason why is because I've taken the long road of improving myself over time. I've lifted weights since I was in 6th grade, and I swim, and I travel, and I have a good time, and I keep myself active, and I walk, and I do all these things. I do yoga, and I do these things that keep myself in good shape and keep myself healthy and keep myself fit. Okay, so if I was a woman, that's the first thing I would do. If I was a woman, I would know that men are visually oriented. So I would never, ever let myself get fat, whether I didn't have a man or whether I had a man, because obviously you can have a man and then you can lose him because you lose attractiveness and he finds attraction in another woman. So I would just, as a rule, I do this as a man, but even more so as a woman. It's more important for women. I would keep myself in good shape. Never consider getting fat, ever. If you're a woman and you're listening, I know a lot of women do listen to this podcast because I get emails, don't let yourself get fat. Fuck society, fuck what everybody's doing. Don't eat what they eat. You're like an alien. Don't let it happen. Don't be complacent and let your life go to hell and be unwanted. Don't do it. Okay, that's the first thing. You want to be as attractive as you possibly can. And if you keep yourself skinny, you're going to be hot to somebody, where if you keep yourself healthy and skinny and muscular, and you keep improving your body, you will be attractive to guys, right? And no matter what your face looks like, right? The next thing I would do is I would be very concerned about flexibility, because a lot of sex for a woman, attractiveness to a man, is her ability to get into different positions and be comfortable with it, right? If a woman's like very uncomfortable and shaking and sweating and complaining because she's in a position, that's not attractive. That's not sexually attractive to a man, right? When she's skinny and she bends over comfortably and smiles at you, looks at you, that's very, very attractive. That would be my goal, is to be flexible, so I could get myself into any kind of position that would be attractive, right? So that's another thing women could do to improve themselves. Next thing, I would take a class. I talked about this in the sex dolls episode. How do you compete with sex dolls? You compete by improving yourself and thinking of what you can do to get better. And the number one thing women never, ever do, I don't know why, I would improve myself to give a killer hand job. I would study to give a really killer hand job, so that if I was sick, I didn't feel good, had a cold, I broke my leg, I just was not in the mood, the kids were there, like whatever in the future, I'd want to be able to satisfy the man. And I recommend any woman learns how to give a killer hand job. And I don't mean like some stupid like yanking it up and down. I mean like skills. Depending on how he feels, knowing there's different kinds of guys and there's different things that guys like. I would study all this stuff if I was a woman, and is what I recommend to women. And this is how you can beat a sex doll. Definitely A woman can beat a sex doll any day of the week. The thing is they're so lazy and so idiotic that they don't even try and just complain about it. But you can beat it. You can be the guy, the girl every guy wants and every girl hates, because you're the one that every guy wants, right? So the other thing you could do, okay, as what would the options for women is, instead of fighting porn, just like I don't fight that dildo, I'll use a dildo, I'll let her use a dildo, but use it in addition to what we're doing sexually, right? Just like I use porn. It's like a hybrid, like a Toyota hybrid, a Prius, using porn into sex, you're integrating it, right? Same with a dildo, same with everything, right? Women should integrate porn. So for example, they would maybe, one thing women could do is they could study men to find out what they like, and don't be the same every time. Be different. Wear an outfit, wear a cosplay outfit. Even if he says he doesn't like it, come as a nurse, come as a maid, come as a schoolgirl. Order these uniforms online. If you're skinny, you can fit into them. You can order them from Asia. They're great. They're cheap. You can get a maid outfit for as low as $1 in Japan. It's made of paper, but it looks pretty cute. I mean, it's decent. You can use it once. I'm not saying you have to spend a lot of money, but because you want to be flexible, you want to be different every time. So I don't recommend spending a lot of money on this stuff. I recommend a variety over quality. It's more of a mental thing anyway. So if you have the main outfit, that you bought for $20 or something, $10, it's going to look great. The guy's going to love it. And then you be the school teacher next time, and you be the, whatever, the librarian one time. Just kind of have flexibility with this stuff. So I would integrate these tools like uniforms, pornography, vibrators, skills, my skills that I've improved myself as far as hand jobs and blow jobs, combination of the two. I would learn, I would read sexual stories that turn guys on, and I would be able to say things. That's one thing a woman can really do, can drive a guy totally insane, is like in the middle of like a sexual episode, a woman could say something like, who would you like to come with us? Who would you, I bet you'd like to, stick your hand up that girl's skirt in the train, and she'll give you a blowjob in front of everybody. He could tell a story that would be so erotic, and there's no clothing, there's no price, there's no cost. It's just a matter of understanding what turns men on, and to be able to say that suddenly in the middle of a sexual encounter, and then after that, don't do it again. Think of another one, right? It's about improving yourself long term, becoming a sexually attractive, nuclear hot woman. That's what you can do instead of calling guys dysfunctional. So there's the problem, there's the solution, okay? And for guys, don't just read these articles and let people tell you that you're dysfunctional. Now, I don't mean you need to be an angry guy. I'm just saying you see something like that, you read it, digest it, figure out what's really going on, and move on. Because you're not dysfunctional because you have choices. You're not dysfunctional because you chose a car over a horse. You're not dysfunctional, because you chose email over the mail, a letter. It's just not. It's ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous. Porn is getting better. It's getting easier. It's getting awesome, and you can also integrate in your sex life, just like the women can, to make it better. You can do it just like I did. So think of a hybrid, man. Improve yourself as a guy, as a girl, in your relationship, in the girls that you one night stands you have, or even in your own, just by yourself. Don't have. One thing you can do is, if porn turns you on, you can become very comfortable with yourself and realize that you're a cool guy. You're a total stud. You just like jerking off. You're a total stud. Fuck this shit. Don't let people tell you this the way you are. You know the way you are, man. And the way you are is partly the way you're built, and partly the way that you grow into. We don't know what we're going to grow into when we're in 6th grade or 3 years old, right? We grow into things because we, over time, make the right decision again and again and again. We take the hard road. We improve ourselves. We lift that weight. We tear those muscles. We do that. We work the hard job. We save the money. We improve ourselves. We become something else than what we're given. Or we become something meaningless and a blob on society. And that's, unfortunately, when it comes to sex, that's what most women have chosen, is just a life of blame, a life of slowly getting set aside in favor of technology and anger and just really like vitriolic, red hot anger at society and no responsibility. You don't want to be that. You do not want to be that person. And same with the MGTOW. You guys, don't be that. Don't be that angry guy. Integrate these things, improve yourself, make the choices you need to make to improve your life every fucking day, whether it comes to sex, and don't let anybody call you anything. At the same time, you want to be very honest with yourself. So if you're getting dishonest, if you're doing something that you don't like, you're not proud of, face it and slowly find a solution to it and slowly turn away or quickly make a decision. If you drink too much, go to AA. You know what I mean? It's like, don't just, you're just like, oh, I'm a stud no matter what, No, we need to improve ourselves every fucking day. Read a book, improve yourself. Don't be afraid of being wrong. But you know yourself, you know who you are, you know what your options are, and don't let any motherfucker, especially some piece of shit journalist, tell you you're fucking dysfunctional, even at any level, just because there's something more attractive to you than used to be options. Fuck those guys. Fuck society when they say that to you, right? You know who you are, right? There you go. There is a Ronin Man episode on, I guess, the changing relation of the sexes, man, and like kind of a update on the sex doll and porn and like, I guess, integrative measures you can take to improve your sex life, right? Both men and women. So get out there, guys. Give the girls the good satisfaction. Don't put up with any shit. Don't go with women. Don't pay women. Don't be with anybody who doesn't want to be with you. Search for the truth and look for those women that spark in their eyes. When that spark disappears, you disappear like a fucking like a puddle in a fucking Mojave Desert, man. You're out of there. You have no need for that. And someone calls you some name that doesn't make any sense, putting you down. It's like you're gone, baby. No need to argue. No need to argue because you know who you are and you're a man and you're improving yourself. And so that's one of the most attractive things you can be. The last thing I'm going to say is that at a club, women are super, hot woman has a lot of power, right? You see the women come in, the high heels, super hot legs. She comes in, she's hot. But what's hotter than that? There could be 100 hot girls in a club, but if George Clooney comes in, he's going to be hotter than any of those girls, and they're going to be fighting over themselves to get to that guy, right? And that's the truth. Hot women are in demand, but a hot man is way more in demand than a hot woman because it's so rare. That's what I want you to be. I want your goal is to be a guy who's so hot that it makes even the hot women are falling over themselves to be with him. Because it's true, evolution. A hot man is hotter than any hot woman. And that's the way it is because it's so rare. And all those hot women are going to be like begging to be with that guy, right? That's your goal. That's my goal. And that's who I am sometimes, and that is my goal all the time, is to be that guy that's hotter than those hot women. And it's not just physical. A lot of it is mental, what you're doing, how you're improving yourself, all these other complicated things that make you a cool guy. And social proof, other girls liking you, your experience, your sexual experience, your financial experience, your open-mindedness, your sense of humor, physical being, all these things are important. We'll talk about all those things in other episodes. Either way, guys, thanks for watching. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. This stuff means a lot to me, guys. Any comment, I read every comment. If you send me a message, there's also Ronin Man, MGTOW on Twitter. There's on Facebook. Start to get into the discussion and start to leave comments. I have a few very loyal people that send like awesome ideas for episodes, and it really helps. It really helps me because I go about my life and sometimes I forget what I know. Right? I need somebody to remind me or have a question. I'm like, oh right, oh I remember that. I struggle with that. Hey, I'll make an episode about that. And it just gets me totally stoked. Right? I'm doing this because I love it, guys. I fucking love it, and I love you guys who are listening. I really do. And I don't mean that as a flamer. I mean that as a fucking man. I appreciate it. All right, guys, have a good one. Ronin Man signing off.